So I was outside and I was doing a video on the game Tom Clancy's Elite Squad Season 2 beta, at least the version that they gave me. And there is something that I somehow forgot to mention while I was outside. This game looks extremely good when you are inside of the supply depot, the vendor. The graphics have been improved tremendously. It's just amazingly how much better it looks. Yeah, I think that's one of the things that I forgot to mention. So, here's a video of me outside talking about the game that I play all the time. Believe it or not, it is warm enough to be outside, so I really and truly do not need my hat or my gloves. And this video is going to be about the game. You know, I got the ring on, so that means I'm going to be talking about the game. I'm going to put away the green notebook, which is getting closer and closer to being the end. I'm going to pull out the old iPad. Originally, I think last fall is when I actually made the first video on the game. And that video featured me sitting right here talking about the game and my first thoughts of playing the game. And believe it or not, I didn't like the game when I first started playing it. This video is specifically going to be about Tom Clancy's Elite Squad Season 2. So let's talk about Season 2. What is it I don't like about Season 2? I'm going to tell you the dislikes, and then I'm going to tell you what I like. The dislikes are loss of controls. You don't have access to your control orders, which is really weird. Because without control orders, the game feels more like a real role-playing game. That it reminds me of Final Fantasy. And yes, I use the Final Fantasy song on my ringtone, but I really don't like using a turn-based system where you do your thing, now I do my thing, and then you do your thing, now I do my thing. I'm action, action, action. That's what I want. I want to see action all the time, and because of that, I want more control. Not having your control orders feels weird to me. It just does. And that also means that you can't hit the recharge button, and you can't hit the EMP button. You can't do any of the cool stuff. Aspect ratio on something like this, which is a tablet, which is closer to it is a rectangle, but it is more squarey than long. So the aspect ratio is still not good for anybody that has a tablet. And take in mind that tablets usually are more powerful than phones. So your advantage of not making it appear user-friendly to tablet users is kind of weird, because these are the guys that are going to use the device to its advantages longer, in my opinion. As big as this thing is, this is 12.9 inches. The characters seem smaller in Season 2 than they do in Season 1. And it's because they're locked in at a specific size. And it's weird. And now they have a view button, which is supposed to help with the aspect ratio. So it gives you landscape, diagonal, and then portrait. It doesn't help that much, only because it's still stagnant, and you still have to move your hand over to hit that button. It's just weird. The aspect ratio, along with the characters being so small, it's just weird. Especially on something so big. It's just weird to see. Bad idea. Okay. I got some cocoa for outside. So those are the bad things that I don't like. Let's talk about the good stuff. Good stuff number one is, at least in this particular beta version that I have right now, which appears to be an idea that they had, and it also appears to be a very stable version. And one thing that I noticed, which was kind of really cool, is they got this 2x feature and they have this autoplay feature. Now, this is going to be great for beginners who are just want to hit a couple of buttons and then just let the game do its thing. And it's going to be great for people doing events. Remember, when these events roll around, you sometimes have to start all over again, especially with the raid. You got to go all the way from the top to the bottom. Well, instead of you playing out each one of them, you can just play them out with the auto button and the 2x button. It'll just do all the stuff for you. And then immediately after that, when you started to lose, that's when you go in and you take control and you are using your abilities to really navigate the system and be better. That's an aspect that I really, really like. I also love their use of the red dot in different locations. When I say that, I mean when you are in the tabs, now each tab has a red dot. Instead of just being one red dot for the entire section, it's a red dot saying that inside of this particular raid, you have the ability to do this. And inside Prestige, you have the ability to do this. So there's more than one dot. There's 2 dots there, or 3 dots or more. It's kind of cool. I like it. So the very last thing, and this is going to be one of my biggest dislikes. I'm going back to dislikes. So apparently I didn't write it down on here. But one of my biggest dislikes in the game is currently right now, and this is season 2, the beta version that I have. I don't like how I feel like I am not in control. Not having those control orders simply means that I'm more reliant on the game to do everything for me. And when I play another person in the arena, which right now in the arena I suck. And I suck because I don't have the control that I normally have. I don't have my ability to use my own control orders the way I want to. Instead, it's very automated. And because it's automated, it feels very unfair that I am losing when I should be winning against these other people. It just seems extremely unfair. This reminds me of Tom Clancy's Division 1, the Dark Zone. When the Dark Zone opened up, it was incredible because there were no rules. But people started to complain because some people had the ability to basically overpower them because they used a glitch or they used a meta or something like that. It seemed very unfair. And I know how the unfair part of the game can feel in Tom Clancy's the Division 1 and the Dark Zone. I did not like that at all because there was not a lot of control. There was not much you could do. It was like you're out of control and you need help. And this beta that I have right now, I don't like it because I don't have the control to take over and play the game the way I want. In other words, I gotta wait for this to happen. I gotta wait for that to happen. I'm used to waiting, but I don't have my control orders so that I can pick what I want when I want. Instead, I'm waiting, and it doesn't seem like a great game to me. So I'm sorry if I took so long explaining this here, but that's a big part. It doesn't feel like a fair fight anymore. And it's not because I'm not winning. It just doesn't seem like it's a fair fight. That's all I got to say.